Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah. I am so excited to be here with my guest, Bella Jones. She's going to share exactly who she is and what it is that she does and how she can help you. So take it away, Bella.
Thank you, Tammy, for having me here. I'm so excited for today's conversation. So yes, I am Bella Jones. I am a financial strategy coach. I help women of color who are ready to elevate when it comes to their financial future. So you're looking to, improve your credit, learn about investing, savings, all the things so you can build a generational wealth. That is what I love to do in my business. Also, I do work in corporate America. Well, I did work in corporate America, where I specialize in things like FP&A, which is financial planning and analysis. I help executives manage their financials so they can keep their business profitable. And yeah, I've been in corporate 17 years, which is crazy to say, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That is so awesome. So how did you decide to start this business? What was the driving force behind you, deciding to start helping women of color, especially with their finances?
Great question. So Bella's Credit Corner LLC started off due to my own financial journey. So we're going to go way back to, well, not way back, but 2014, I was going through my own credit repair journey. So I was in the process of purchasing a home. I didn't have great credit, but just enough, right, to get approved for a house in that 620 to 650 range. But I had great income working in finance. And so I was pre-approved for a home. I had my inspection done. I put a $5,000 good faith deposit, like I was buying this house. And then one day my loan officer says, Houston, we got a problem. It turns out my student loans were reporting 90 days past due. And so I have loans from undergrad and grad school, and I never consolidated my loans. So I had like 15 different loans reporting 90 days past due. So as you can imagine, my credit took a huge hit. So my scores that already weren't that great literally tanked. So my lowest score was like a 498. Long story short, the whole house deal fell apart, and it was really devastating because like my kids had walked through the house, they had picked their bedrooms. I'm telling everyone, this house, right?
I know how that stuff can go.
So now I'm back at square one. And it was so devastating. So now I'm like, okay, I have to kind of put my big girl pants on and figure out, well, how can I get myself out of this credit hole so I can buy a house, right? I grew up in a home. My parents emigrated to this country. My grandparents bought a home. So home ownership was always something that I knew I wanted, but I also grew up in it. So I didn't know anything else but being a homeowner, right?
Right. Yes.
So that's when I started working on my credit. And it was one of those things where I felt really embarrassed because bad credit is something that no one talks about, right? We always just talk about good credit, but bad credit, it's like taboo, like ooh, bad credit, right?
Well, you don't want nobody to know that.
Right. And when someone said I have bad credit, I'm like, ooh, what's wrong with you? Right. And I felt shame. I felt embarrassed. I was kind of doing it on my own by myself because I didn't have a place to really turn to.
Yes.
So it took me 2.5 years to work on my credit, and I did all the things, making payment arrangements, paying things off, pay for delete, but also having to save up for a down payment. Now, during this time, I was dating my current husband, and we decided that we would now buy our next home together.
Yes.
So, cause he was ready, like he had the credit, he was good. I was,
yeah,
I was the problem. So fast forward to 2016, credit was excellent in the 720s. We had enough money for our down payments, bought beautiful home where I am now in Long Island. And it was like so amazing, like going to that closing table, because I knew how hard we had to work to get to the closing table, not just my credit journey in itself, but the down payment, the down payment, the closing costs. We didn't qualify for any assistance because of our income. Income was too high.
Yes. Yes.
So after going through that journey and moving into the house, I felt so accomplished. And then just one day I was like, well, if I went through this, there has to be other people, right, who are going through something similar. And probably felt the same way I did, in that they felt alone. They felt they were trying to figure it out on their own. So I said, well, how can I be that person? Now, of course, as all people, we have these good ideas and we just sit on them. So I launched my YouTube channel like 2 years later in 2018. And so I didn't plan to have a business, to be honest. I just wanted to like be a YouTuber and get AdSense revenue and just be YouTube famous. Right. That was the mission. That was the assignment. But of course, God has a way of changing your plans when you have the best laid ones, right? So as I was creating YouTube videos, and just to take it one step back, I wanted my channel to kind of be to cover two parts, right? So once I had great credit, we were able to get into this credit card hobby of traveling using points and rewards. That has been life-changing. We can talk about that a little bit later, or maybe a separate interview, I don't know. But it was like, wow, like airport lounges, elite status, first class. And it was like, oh my God, like who knew this was life? But then
who knew?
Right. I didn't. That was like for other people. That wasn't for someone. Like,
not for us, you know?
Right. I'm not a business person. I'm not
Oprah.
Right.
You know, I'm not the president.
Like, right. So now I'm like, well, there's this whole world of something that I didn't know about. How can I run and go tell it, right, to my community?
Yes.
Because the people in those spaces don't look like us. It's, you know, I'm white men, it's Asian. They don't speak to me. They don't look like me. They don't understand the things that, right, I go through as a Black person in America. Right. So I said, well, how can I be the gap to kind of talk to people who maybe you don't have great credit, but listen, on the other side of that, this stuff is here. And I can kind of help you get you from where you are to where you're trying to be. Yes. So that was the whole mission of my YouTube channel. And over time, it was like, hey, Bella, can you help me fix my credit? And I'm like, sure. So then I progressed. I did credit repair for a little, well, I think about 1.5 years, 2 years, I did credit repair. Had to move on from that because I realized just fixing your credit is only putting a Band-Aid on the overall problem.
So it's not enough.
Right. We need the financial literacy, the budgeting, the money management, the long game picture.
See, so how much, let me ask you this question. How much do you feel like it's the fact that we don't have this normalized in our culture?
Oh, 100%.
Like hurting us. Yeah, that's because that's something that I was thinking of, and I was like, you know, nobody just sat us down and told us that, because most of our parents didn't know, you know, or if they did know, they didn't know what to do, you know, how to fix that.
Right. Or so for myself, I'll speak about my parents. So my parents emigrated to this country from Guyana, which is in South America, Caribbean country. So they were learning everything from scratch, right? Their parents couldn't teach them. So they were learning kind of as they were raising us, but they never really kind of took that extra step to say, well, hey, this, like, I grew up in a house. I couldn't tell you at the time how to buy a house.
Right.
Right. No one, they never really kind of taught us what they learned as they were going through their journey. And then I remember turning 18 and people at work who are, you know, of all different nationalities just said, you need to have good credit. And that's all they said. Like, that was it.
Okay. How does that work?
Right. And so no one kind of sat me down to say, well, this is why you need good credit. This is how you build credit. This is how you maintain your credit. No one ever really talked to me about that. So I, like everyone else, kind of messed it up as I went and had to figure it out the hard way. And the one thing I found with credit, like anything else, we don't care about it until we need it for something. Right. And by then it's usually too late.
It's like life insurance. You don't need it till you need it.
Right. So then during the pandemic, I pivoted in my business to focus on overall financial literacy. So I started doing money mastermind classes that covered all 4 topics. And then just kind of evolved from there. And then, so back to your question. So that's how I started, just my own credit repair journey, YouTube, started a business, and here we are.
That is so powerful. I bet your parents are super proud of you.
They are, but it's so funny. When I started, they were like, what are you doing? Because I don't have anyone in my immediate family who's like on social media on YouTube building a business, right? You're kind of on Facebook to see people's pictures and life updates, and that's kind of it. And for a long time, I didn't really tell my parents, because I figured like they wouldn't really like understand what I was doing. But now they're like fully supportive. My mom subscribed to my YouTube channel. I don't only do videos there. I haven't done one in a long time, but they're very, very supportive and very proud. Absolutely.
Yeah, I say that because I went through that with my mom, but because first thing she was, well, you need to go and just finish school and just get your RN and blah, 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 and go do a nurse practitioner. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, but no.
Right.
And it's funny because as I started in doing the healing work and all that stuff, then she actually came and she got some work done. I did some work for her, and then she was telling other people and telling her friends. She told my cousin, she was like, you need to get that done because that's amazing. And and all this. And then, and after I started writing the books, it was a whole nother thing, and so
beautiful.
Now she's like super supportive, and she's not, always telling me every time I talk to her, you need to go finish school, you need to. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do it.
That is not my assignment at this stage.
No, I was like, no, I'm not. That's not why I'm here. I was like, I am here to help people to heal. That is why I'm here. Not all this other stuff. No. I was like, in all that, working in these facilities and these hospitals and all this stuff with all that energy. No.
It's rough. Absolutely.
It's amazing. So as you go forward, what do you see for your business going forward? Do you see, do you also work with corporations as well, or not yet?
So funny enough, I do now have a consulting arm in my business. And so in that arm, I'm going to be leaning in on my corporate background, particularly the FP&A, financial planning and analysis, because every billion-dollar corporation has an FP&A team, which is not your accountants. People always say, oh, accounting and finance. No, two totally separate entities. Accounting is helping you keep your books in compliance. They're helping you with your reporting. Finance in this aspect is your strategic business partner, right? So we're going to work together and say, how can we keep the business profitable? So
growth, right?
Right, growth. What do you need to support the current strategies and goals you have for the business? And so we're going to help you understand how can you maintain that or grow that while not incurring so many costs. When it comes to your revenue, what are you selling that makes sense, right? You have to look at your products at the, revenue at the product level. Because you might be selling something and you're selling at a loss. And you might have some other money makers that you're not really focused on. So that's where your finance team kind of comes into play to really help you understand the right revenue mix, expense mix, so you can kind of keep your bottom line profitable. So with that, I do plan to work with corporations and also small businesses and nonprofits. I do find that small businesses and nonprofits don't usually have a finance person per se. It's usually the CEO, the CFO, or the accountants really trying to fill that gap. And you really should separate the two. When you have your accountants, they're kind of like in the minutia of all the details.
Yes.
And having a finance person who's kind of like higher up, looking at the bird's eye view to say, well, this is the bigger picture, because we're not engrossed in all the details. So that is the plan for my business going forward for 2023 to really help small businesses, nonprofits, and also larger corporations too, when it comes to the FP&A work.
That's awesome. That's actually kind of how I feel with what I do. It's like, I'm the bird's eye view for you, because you're in the middle of all the stuff and you're already going through the drama and all this stuff, but I'm outside so I can actually see,
right.
That's kind
of be objective, right?
Yes,
that's the part. Be objective. You're not like emotionally connected or tied to.
Right. Do you find that as you work with these people that they actually do like take your advice and do it and grow, or have you found that it's difficult to help people change their mind, or what does that look like for you?
Great question. Look at all these questions. So I have found over time, as I have changed as a business, the kind of clients I attract are different as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Don't mind my dog in the background. So when I say that, when I was doing things, I hate to say it, at a lower price point, you find people are less committed. So for example, with the credit repair, people were really looking for me to do all of the work, where I'm really just your partner. Right. I'm here.
So you're a guide.
Exactly. Right. There are things I was doing, right, per se, But the other parts, right, you have to kind of do the work based upon what I'm telling you. And
Right.
so you had a certain kind of clientele showing up, for those services. And some are great, but to your point, some just really weren't as committed to the process because they thought I could just work magic, which
Of course you can. You're a magical being.
right, just poof, 800 credit scores all around.
There you go.
Right. So as I have pivoted what I focus on in my business, I have a different kind of client that now comes to the table. Also, I have more higher ticket offerings, and that definitely is bringing people who are committed to doing the work, right? When you're paying $2,000, for example, for a VIP day, you're not coming to play around, right? You're doing all the pre-work. So there's always pre-work, and then you come into that VIP day because you're vested and you're ready to put in the work. And even once we're finished, you're doing the other stuff that's required after the fact. Yes. So since I've pivoted and changed, the kind of clients that come my way are very, very, very different. Some work faster than others, but they're putting in the work and working at the pace that works for them. And that's my goal, is kind of meet you where you are. So you don't feel overwhelmed, you don't feel intimidated, and you're going to just kind of see this, through to the end.
Yes. Now, do you work also with other people, or do you only work with women of color?
So funny you say that. So in my marketing and in my messaging, I'm talking to women of color, primarily Black women. Just that's who most of my clients are. But funny enough, I'm not discriminating against anyone. I had a man book a VIP day over the summer.
Wow.
Total left field, right? So to your point, I will work with anyone, but who I'm talking to and targeting are women of color. Specifically.
Awesome. I always ask people that when they target women of color, because I had a friend, she was like, I'm only going to work with women of color, and this, that, and the third. And with what she did, she realized that she was going to be broke. So she started, kind of opening up, because she asked me, and I said, well, to be honest, I love my people. I said, but I will work with whoever pays me.
Right. So I think that's a very valid comment that you're making, and something that I've had to kind of really sit in with my own business, right? Yeah. Because I do find people have said, our people always want things for free.
Yeah,
but
people say that.
For me, it kind of goes back to the messaging, right? When you're talking to the right people and you're targeting the right people and having the right conversations, you're going to attract those people. So it's going to be a smaller subset of people, unfortunately, but you are going to find them. I do also find, the way you show up, your messaging, your pricing, again, will of course attract a certain kind of clients. So like the man that booked the VIP day, my marketing isn't catered to him by any means, but he follows me on social media. He attended one of my in-person events, and he was like, where do I sign to book?
How did that work out though for you?
Right. So I'm not, going to turn anyone away by any means.
Right.
Because cash is king and money is green.
Yes, it is.
But I do find, for me, my passion is helping our community. For women of color, we're always at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yes.
Right? We're always excluded. We're always counted out. So that is who I'm talking to, because I am you, right? Yes. When you see me talking, trust me when I'm talking, I'm talking from experience.
Yes.
Things that I've gone through, things that I've seen with my clients. And so I'm not talking to everybody, I'm talking to you, sis. But if you are here listening and kind of catching the second waves, by all means, we can work.
That's what's up. That is so powerful. I love that, because I know that, in business coaching and stuff, people are always, well, you need to niche down, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and, blah, 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 blah. And so, but what I notice is that when you just like you said, when your messaging is correct and you're talking to the people, then they'll start receiving it and picking it up.
Yes.
And that was the thing that I had to get to, because I was like, okay, I just want to help people heal, and that's what I want to do. And, and I had to get it down to where, okay, no, this is what I'm doing. I'm helping you connect to your soul. That's where I am.
Right.
Not just all these other things and whatever. this is where we are, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it, you know?
Right.
So I noticed that when you start doing that and the people start showing up, you know, it's, wow.
Right. I also think for me, my problem is I want to help everybody.
Me
right?
too.
I want to help every single person. But I've had to realize through my own experiences working with coaches that I am not here to help everybody, unfortunately.
Yes.
And I guess I am and I'm not, right? The free content, YouTube, Instagram, podcast, all that's there to help anybody who wants it.
Mhm.
But the real work, the behind the scenes, the VIP days, the master classes, that's for a certain kind of person.
Yeah. And
Right.
that's perfect, because the thing is like you said, we want to help everybody. When you start doing something that you know can help people, you want to help them. You're
Mhm.
like, oh, I just want to help everybody, but you can't help everybody anyway.
Right. Because
you're only one person.
That everybody wants free.
Of course. I mean, they'll grab my free meditations and all this stuff all day long. Well, they'll go on my YouTube channel and I'll send people. I would like, go to my YouTube channel. You know, there's healings and meditations and all kinds of stuff on there. Just get what you want, you know? So yeah, I get that.
Mhm.
But, you know, otherwise, you know, but then the other part too is like, I noticed that people, when you get some of that free stuff, a lot of times people don't do anything with it. You know, like your free PDFs and stuff, you know, like your little lead magnet
Mhm.
things and all that, you know, and I'm guilty. I cannot say. I have done some things with some of the things, but some of them they inside of my email or, you know, or you know what I mean? Or they're saved on my computer or something like that.
Right.
So I do recognize also that really when the people pay, then they actually pay attention.
Well, that too. And even with the free stuff, you know, that's a great way to get them on your email list so you can nurture them into something else, right? Because they didn't sign up just for no reason, right?
Right.
They're here because they want the value. And so once you have the email, it's a great way to build that rapport, that relationship, so you can kind of nurture them into something, right?
Yes. And I agree with that, because I know you can't really just rely on these apps, you know, because they could be gone tomorrow. Or you could get hacked like I did. Your
account could be gone tomorrow.
That's why I said, or you get hacked like I did. 5,000 people got hacked.
Which one? Was it Instagram, Facebook? What was it?
Both. Instagram, I had 20,000, girl, and they hacked them. And Facebook, 5. And then they started running scams and stuff on it. And I kept trying to reach out to people I knew to tell them, please block that page. Facebook, I reported it 8,000 times. My husband reported it. They don't care. Other people that knew me reported it. They don't care. And they still let these people, because somebody actually reached out to me and said something like, you got puppies for sale? I was like, you don't even know me, because I don't even have no damn animal. I was like, I don't want to take care of nothing but my husband.
Right. Oh my God.
You know, but yeah, I was like, you know, and then, you know, because that's how I knew, because of course, you know, they blocked my husband after a while, you know, and blocked me. And so it's like people were on there selling game gears or something. I was like, I'm not a gamer. I don't even know what that is. You know, getting scammed. And so I was like, please block that page. I already told y'all to block that page. I said, now if you get scammed, that's on you, because this is not me.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it was crazy. But so I learned that the hard way. So I definitely collect emails. try to build that list, you know, because I'm like, that's not your real estate. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
You know, they could, because I mean, look at Twitter.
Oh, no comment.
Right? We're gonna leave that alone. But so as you move forward with this, had you ever thought about doing something where you are focusing on like the younger people with the education piece?
Another great question. So because I think you're like in my brain, Tammy. Oh my goodness. So initially, no, I didn't have any plans, but now I've been in different spaces that have where I've been invited to work on certain things. So the Urban League of Long Island, I've been attending some of their meetings. And so we're looking to partner to, you know, do some programs in some of the local high schools. And I also would love to do workshops to help parents of high school juniors and seniors, prepare them, right, for either college or adulthood, right, whatever is after high school.
Yes, yes.
So those are things are in the purview. At one point, they were not. The definitely things that I am looking to do, because to your point, you know, we do need to give that information to the youth. So I'm not sure in what capacity I'll be doing that, but definitely is something that I will be focusing on.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, and I actually saw you doing that. That's why I asked that question. One of my gifts. I'm sorry.
Got it. You were here. You were in my brain. You knew it.
I was like, it's supposed to be, you know. Yeah, I do that all the time for free, and I'll have to start charging.
Listen,
I'm like, you're supposed to be doing so and so, you know. But yeah, I think that is going to be excellent, because the kids need it, because we're still doing the same thing, right? We're still perpetuating the same thing because we don't know. Our parents didn't really know. And, you know, and my parents, they were professionals. You know, my mom's a nurse, my dad's an attorney, but they didn't know.
Right.
You know, they had bad credit, you know, so they didn't know. So they couldn't, you know, teach us, couldn't teach me, you know. So it's the same thing going around, you know. And I tried really hard to teach my kids. I did. Like, I tried to teach them how to budget and different things like that and stuff, you know, but I taught them what I knew, you know, which wasn't a lot. So, you know, yeah. So I think that is going to be like an amazing program.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So welcome. So anything, any last words or things that you want to bring forward to the audience, or is there anything that you are doing, or, you know, like a program that you're opening up, or anything that you want to share that you're doing with the audience?
Sure. So I guess I'll take that in two parts. So the one thing I would say, it's never too late to start again. I know for a lot of us, we feel like, oh, but my credit is so bad, or oh, I'm 40 and I still don't own a house, or I'm 35 and I still haven't done whatever it is. You can always start tomorrow. Whatever happened prior to today, those are learning lessons. You took in your lumps, your bruises. What can you do going forward? Because it's never too late. I think about my own story. So 2014, I had my issue with the credit. 2016, bought a house. That is now 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I never started, where would I be right now? My business wouldn't have started. I wouldn't be a homeowner. And there's things I wouldn't have done, people I wouldn't even have met because of that. So just do things today that your future self will thank you for. So just never think it's too late. There's always time. Things are always fixable and figure outable, if you will. In regards to my business, so I have been doing in-person events. I hosted 2 conferences earlier this year in 2022 called Building Black Legacy.
Nice.
And the conferences were phenomenal. And so I'm looking forward to doing more of those now that the world is opening, you know, back up. So June of 2023 will be my next in-person conference here on Long Island, which is New York. Outside of that, let's see what other new things I have going on. My website's relaunching in January. So excited about that. The website's going to be like a one-stop shop hub, if you will. So podcast episodes, blog posts, just, you know, information and ways to work with me will be on there as well. Because to your point, what you said before, we don't own social media. Right. So to have real estate that's mine, that I own, my audience can kind of get all that information.
Yes.
Really the goal of that website. My investing accelerator, the next cohort will be in April of 2023. Now that is a 10-week program where we talk about solely about investing. Each week we cover a different asset class. We start with mindset and strategy. Then we go into stocks, index funds, mutual funds, cryptocurrency, commodities like gold, silver, platinum, right? We talk about NFTs, real estate investment trust. And so it's really a great program to help that person who really wants to learn investing and learn all the things. I find that for many of us, we're going into investing like throwing spaghetti at the wall. We're kind of throwing money in a 401k or an IRA. We're hoping to goodness gracious that something's gonna work.
Yep.
I remember doing a focus group. Was it last year? I think it was 2021. I did a few focus groups where I met with like 30 plus women in different sessions, and they all had the same kind of theme. They're investing in things without any real understanding. Whether it's the 401k, they're like, I don't know how I picked those investments, but they're there. But I see the balance grow. I see the balance growing. Doesn't mean that it's doing well, right? Because they put in more money in, you could be losing money, right?
Yes.
They're investing in companies at a superficial level. They're doing things like, I use Apple, so I'm buying Apple stock. I use Amazon, I invest in Amazon stock, which that's nothing wrong with that. But the goal of this program is to take it to that next level.
Gotcha.
So how do you vet a company before you give them your money? I use the analogy of getting a job, right? When you're applying for a job, that company is vetting you. They look at your resume, they look at your credentials, you do some interviews, background check, credit check, reference, right? All the things they kind of put you through in the interview process, right? To get a job.
Yeah.
We should be doing that same exact thing as investors. Yeah. Right? What are the 5 criteria that you need a company to meet before you invest in them? Because you're giving this company your hard-earned money. You can't get a job and walk in today and say, give me a job, right? The company has to vet you, but most of us, we're just giving them the money for free without really vetting them before we invest in them. So this program is to really help you understand how to analyze your investments before you make them, and understand what is important for you as an investor. Many people don't even have an answer when it comes to, like, where are you in this season? That's what's important to you when it comes to your investing journey. Most people have no idea. What is your strategy? That is
so real.
Most people have no idea that strategy. Like, I don't know. I want to be rich in a few years. Like,
I need money.
Right. So the whole point of this program is to really help you be an educated and confident investor, because the confidence piece is really important, because when things go bad like they are right now in this recession, you still need to have that confidence in what you're doing, and you won't have it if you don't have the basic fundamentals. So we will be in our 3rd or 4th cohort of this program in April. I can share the link with you after we end this live, end this recording. And so that's, that's everything for me coming up. And I'm really excited because it's really been a powerful journey, just seeing how my clients have changed how they think about money, how they think about their investments. It's just like next level. And to see where they started to where they are now, like it's beautiful. And I do find, as a finance person, I think, breathe, and talk numbers, right? But most people don't. So my goal is to be that bridge, right? To bridge the gap so you can really feel confident. And I had one person say to me at a meeting once, a conference once, they're like, well, Bella, can I just hire a professional to do it for me? Yes, you can. But that does not preclude you from understanding the basics.
Yes.
Right. You still need to be able to talk to this person so they understand what's important to you as an investor. Yes. And also, how can you kind of question or challenge the things that they're doing with your money? You could never trust anyone blindly when it's your money on the table, right?
Absolutely.
So hiring a professional, you still need to have some basic understandings. And the more educated you are, the more powerful your conversations are with your advisor if you do decide to hire one. Yeah. So yeah.
So let me ask you one more question, then we're going to get out of here. But sure. Can you tell me the most profound transformation that you have seen in any of your clients?
Oh man, there's so many. Who do I want to
I love that. I love it. So many.
Oh my God. I'm going to share this story because this one is one that's near and dear to my heart. So I had one client of mine who she had participated in some of my savings challenges, and she took my financial freedom course. Now that course, I don't offer it currently, but it talked about credit, budgeting, saving, investing, and talked about the
just like basics.
No, it was in depth, but it was all it was a self-paced course. Actually that'll be relaunched with my website in January. Okay. So she said to me, Bella, for the first time, this was 2 years ago, I am going into the holidays with money for Christmas.
Wow.
I'm going into the holidays where I don't have to skip paying my bills just so I can buy gifts for my daughter. She's like, I actually left my wallet at my aunt's house a week ago, and I wasn't even pressed to get it back because I kind of was good with money. So I was able to wait a week before I had to go and get my wallet. I was at my aunt's house.
Wow.
That probably sounds so minor to some people, but for me, like, that is powerful. She's a single
It
mom
is.
raising a daughter, and she's like, I, for the first time since the beginning of time, I now have money set aside for holiday shopping.
See, that's amazing. That's amazing because I mean, I laugh because I know exactly about that. That's what that was my Christmas shopping. I just wouldn't pay those bills that month, and I would work a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I would try to work a whole lot toward the end of the month.
Yeah.
That way I can pay those bills in January, double up on them, so I could buy Christmas. Yeah, I know.
Yep.
That was my strategy.
Absolutely. And as a single mom, I was a single mom at one point. I get it. I get it. You're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're going into debt. You're borrowing money, right? Just so you can buy Christmas gifts. And to be at a point where she's like financially stable because she took the courses, she did the savings challenge, and she was like, I'm good.
That is awesome. I love that. That's what I'd like to hear. That's so powerful. All right. So this has been so good. I enjoyed it so much. I almost don't want to let you go, but these things can only be so long. But I'm just so grateful that you chose to come on here and share with me today. And you can always come back. So just let me know when you're ready.
Ooh, send me
we
the
can
link.
do this again.
Send me the link.
We can do this again. It's all good. But so if you guys are interested in, getting your financial life in order, especially if you're a beautiful woman of color, but like she said, she'll work with anybody that needs help. So reach out to her. Reach out to her. I'll have her links and stuff in the description of the video, as well as the audio on wherever it's going to be: Anchor, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. It's on all of those places. So all of those things will be in the show notes. So make sure that you are connecting with her because she's amazing. And I think I found her on YouTube or maybe it was Instagram. I don't even know.
I'm everywhere. So probably one of those places.
Right? I was like, I know I connected with her on one of those places because I got on her email list. So she amazingly is so responsive with the email list, I have to say, because I actually invited her to this show through her email. So I'm super excited about that and so grateful that she's come because I actually learned a whole lot because, I had that same story. I wanted to buy a house. And so I started working on credit and I actually got it to a point where we could buy the house, and we did. And then I got ready to get divorced and I sold it, which was a blessing too. But yeah, so that's the thing. And most people don't know, about credit, especially, people of color. We just haven't had that exposure, and we haven't, generally we don't have people that know. So for her to be so well versed and so, in this space where she can help you, it's amazing. So make sure that you reach out to her if you are looking for this. Because I'm telling you, we all need financial literacy, at least to understand, the credit process, because a lot of us don't even have a clue about that. We don't know the credit process. We don't know about investing. And just like she said, we're throwing spaghetti at the wall. We're going on Cash App and just investing in shit. We do.
That part.
And yeah, so, I laugh because I've seen that so many times from so many people and heard it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. So I just think it's amazing that she's doing this work. So again, she has a YouTube channel that's amazing. She's on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn too, right?
LinkedIn, TikTok, podcast, everywhere you are, I am too.
Me too. That's why I tell people, I'm like, I'm everywhere you want to be.
Exactly.
All right. So we are going to exit out of here. Thank you so much for joining us, listening to us, or watching us, as it were. And we're just so grateful just to have you here with us. And thank you so much, Bella, for joining me. This has been amazing. I love you. I'm going to have to definitely stay connected.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we'll do some other things. I would love, if you're doing events and stuff, I would love for you to think about considering me, because I would love to come talk about intuition in business.
Oh, all right. We'll talk. Awesome.
All right, so have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, weekend, whatever it is that you're catching this. And then also make sure that you like and share and you subscribe. And also make sure that if you are changing the planet and you want to come and talk about it on Straight Outta Savannah, I would welcome you. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Bye now.